Well, everyone, here we are. It's the end of the year and tax season is now just right around the corner. And even though it's important, I'm sure it's not lost on anyone listening to this video. When an event like this only comes around once a year, it can be easy to forget things, which is why in this video, we are going to be going over 3 tips for year-end tax reporting. And if anyone listening is feeling that holiday spirit and is in that giving mood, please feel free to share your own favorite year-end tips in the comments below. I'm sure somebody is going to find that very valuable. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start with tip number 1, which is address mobility proactively. If you have employees who have moved across states or countries during their year, their equity might be subject to taxation within multiple jurisdictions. And this is also why it's so important to be collaborating with your payroll and tax teams to make sure that you're identifying the affected employees and making sure that income is allocated appropriately based on work locations and vesting periods. Now, for tip number 2, optimize your Section 6039 reporting process. For incentive stock options and employee stock purchase plans, very on the nose, but we always want to make sure that forms 3921 and 3922 are filled out correctly, which is why we want to make sure that you're utilizing unique transaction identifiers to make sure that if errors do occur, and again, we are all human, errors are going to happen naturally, that you're able to make those corrections in a timely manner to meet those IRS mandated deadlines. And for those of you that aren't aware, in the bottom left of the form I have in front of me where it says account number, that is where you're going to be listing your own unique transaction identifier. It's something you assign based upon your own internal systems. And as I mentioned, it's something that's going to be greatly helpful if you do have to go back and make any corrections. And then the next tip we have in relation to optimizing your Section 6039 reporting process is if you haven't used substitute forms in the past or haven't taken advantage of them or been aware of them, it's something we implore you to look into doing this year. Utilizing substitute forms is going to allow you to consolidate multiple transactions on one page, which is going to save you time and paper when furnishing Form Bs to your employee demographic. And now our last tip is don't forget to test your submissions early through the IRS fire system. It's only going to help you avoid any last minute complication. It is tech, it is buggy, errors can occur and issues may happen. So it's always good to get in early. For electronic filings, you have until March 31st. Getting in there early, testing your submissions through the IRS fire system, it's just going to make sure that as you get closer to the actual IRS mandated deadline, that you're prepared, you're confident, and you already have everything ironed out for a smooth and efficient process that can hopefully, make your tax reporting season a little bit less stressful. And now, as we move on to tip number 3, just want to make sure that we're addressing, the elephant in the room, which is know your deadlines. It's never going to hurt to create a detailed timeline that covers all year-end tasks, as well as making sure that you've assigned responsibilities appropriately. And then alongside that, one thing that I think is very beneficial is to have your own internal deadlines, something separate from what the IRS mandates, something that's a little bit more aggressive. Just having like little periods that you kind of staggered out in the lead up to the actual deadline, it's just going to help you feel confident that you're doing everything you need to make sure that you're going to meet those IRS mandated deadlines and not run afoul of any compliance issues or late filing fees. When I was in basic training, a little story time, I had an MTI who used to always shout out at us, "Don't buzz my timeline." And yes, he said that much more aggressively than I just did. And if we did bust his timelines, and busted timelines means not meeting deadlines, he would essentially tell us we would be pushing Texas further into the ground, which just meant we were about to be doing a lot of push-ups. And unfortunately, we did not have any exemptions or anything that we could utilize to get some form of extension for the deadlines mandated by our MTI and Basic. You actually do. If you need an extension with the IRS, you can actually file Form 8809 and get an automatic 30-day extension if you apply electronically. So in a worst case scenario, if you're not going to be able to meet the deadlines, you can feel the pressure creeping up. Before that deadline occurs, go to the IRS website, file that Form 8809, and save yourself and give yourself an extra 30 days to get everything done. Now, never forget that you have that ability to get that extension if need be. It's something that is going to help protect you against any late filing fees and such. So utilize it. All right, everyone. Those are our 3 tips for year-end tax reporting. But if you feel like you're not in complete control for tax season yet and want to make sure that you are, please go ahead and check out our on-demand webinar titled Guide to Tax Reporting for Equity Plans. Should be available on the website. It's something that's only going to make sure that you guys have all the information you need, and just another little refresher crash course on year-end tax reporting to make sure that you're aware of all the needfuls that need to be delivered upon as you do get into tax reporting season. But, all right, that is it, everyone. Thank you again for all who joined us till the end of this video. And aside from leaving some helpful tips for others in the comments section, in honor of this being the last video of 2024, please comment 2024 and share this video with anyone who is stressing out about year-end tax reporting. So again, thank you all and happy holidays.